Welcome to our second Grand Fiesta Boot Camp webinar. This is looking pretty amazing right now because it's freezing cold in Rockford. And Izzy has her little puffer jacket on. She just got all her hair cut off, so she's probably going to be freezing. So now is the time to declare that you are going to be on this trip. I hope it's written in your calendar and that you have started the worksheet to show how many points you have. Tracy, I see your hand raised. If you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat box. So I am welcomed here by Amy Mason. Kim Karpowitz has two little girls, and so we knew that we're not quite sure what time she'll be joining in. So I'm glad Amy is here with me. Kim is a bronze leader. I put for both Kim and Amy that they're 2019 President's Club because they were both so close in 2018, and I know that they will make it this year. Kim's been a rep since June 2015. Her team sales were 233,000 last year with a rolling 26 campaign growth of almost 83%. Woohoo! You guys are awesome. I love seeing those huge double-digit increases. So Amy joined us in July 2016, and I got to meet Amy at Rep Fest this year, so that was awesome. And her team sales were almost 70,000, so that's super awesome in a short period of time with Avon. All right, I'm gonna go through a few slides, Amy, and then at the end, we'll go through those questions that I sent you ahead of time.
Okay.
All right, so I want to give you a feel for the Avon Trips because they treat us so well. We don't get pink Cadillacs. We get once in a lifetime amazing trips. We've been to so many different places. I think I've been on about 30 Avon trips, and I even passed some up in the beginning because I didn't know anyone. So if you're in that boat, do not pass it up. Hi, Becky. I think I earned a cruise one of my first years with Avon and didn't go. I earned an Alaskan cruise and didn't go, and I earned Hawaii and I didn't go, and I regret that. So I hope you guys can learn from my mistakes. Even if it's uncomfortable, go on these trips. They will change your life. They will change your business. Avon always puts us up at the nicest places. There's entertainment, there's food and drink and activities, and of course, all of the Avon friendships. So after traveling with, you know, a lot of the same representatives for so many years, it's pretty cool to have friends all across the United States. Yes, I did go to the Bahamas. Atlantis, yes. So the trips that I passed up were more like in the beginning of my career. So like 2008 to 2012, I probably passed up some trips. And now you can't get me to stay home from one. I go to all of them. So as a leadership and sales representative, you really have the opportunity to travel about 4 times a year with Avon. So it's just about perfect. I get home and I'm home for a few months and I have another trip to look forward to. So I love to travel. That's one of the things I love about Avon. And it's just become so special being able to take our kids to Atlantis. I think we're taking the kids on the Maui trip in April. So just quite amazing, and everyone is invited to Rep Fest. So if you have never been on an Avon trip, you have to. I remember the first leadership trip that I went on was only a few days, or I think it was a few weeks. I think it was like 2 weeks after my brain surgery, and I still went. It was incredible. And I remember thinking, oh, you know, I don't know if I can afford this trip. Should I really go? And then I said to myself, you know, I'm going to commit to it and I'm going to make it worth it. So yes, I'm going on the trip, and I'm going to learn enough and take it back and apply it to my business that I'm going to profit more than it cost me to go on the trip. So at some point in your Avon career, you may have to start making those bigger, bolder moves and decisions, because that is what will grow your business. If you're just doing the same thing over and over and that's not working, I suggest trying something different. So mark your calendar, August 2nd to 4th for Rep Fest in New Orleans. That should be open for everyone to register, I think sometime in January. So start saving. I want to meet you guys. Grand Fiesta. Okay, so we got through the Head Start period, and now we are just starting campaign 3. Now is the time to hustle. You guys gotta hustle hard. Get out there and put in the grind, even if you're not feeling like it. Like, I know some days, you know, I used to come to my computer and I don't want to write another blog post, or I don't want to do this. But you push through that, and your business starts becoming really exciting and rolling. So even on those days where you don't feel like doing the work, still do it. So you can earn the trip for 1 or 2. It includes 3 nights at the Hyatt in Los Cabos. I've been to Cancun several times and Puerto Vallarta, but I have never been to Los Cabos. So exciting. All of our food and drinks included, round trip air, transportation, welcome reception, and farewell dinner. I got these pictures off the website. I thought they were pretty cool. Absolutely beautiful. Hopefully that's the view from my room. And Avon's rewarding us as we go. So you get a towel at 1,000 points. You get a tote at 2,000. You get the mirror and the makeup brush set at 3,000. 5,000 is the trip for 1. 7,000 is the trip for 2. So congratulations to Bridget and Gloria, who have already earned the towel. We have Melissa, Cheryl, and Tracy over 500. Good job. And we have Wendy, Kelly, Peter, Trisha, and Katie between 400 and 500. So it's still very early in the incentive. So do not get discouraged. You have to keep yourself in an excited state of mind and really be pushing and getting those recruits in now, so that those points add up when they continue to have $150 orders. So you want to sell 300 to 499, you'll get 100 points, or if you sell 500, you'll get the 200. An Alma qualified recruit is 150. A person that you bring in yourself is worth 300 points, but they do have to submit a $150 order in their first or second campaign, in order for them to be considered qualified. So then there's an even bigger bonus if you get them to be qualified right in the beginning, because then you can continue to earn 100 points off them for every campaign they do over 150 throughout the rest of the incentive. This one's huge. I know Melissa Atkinson on our team just advanced all the way up to Silver Ambassador. So she brought in 2,000 points just by moving. Hi, Sarah. Just by moving 2 places. So she's already got the towel and the tote, and she's almost halfway to Mexico. You can also earn points for mentoring your first generation representatives and getting them to advance in title. So if you aren't huge on recruiting, you do still have the potential to earn the towel, but why would you not want to go for the Mexico trip? Come on. You have to find the way of recruiting and doing Avon the way that you enjoy, and then it is not intimidating or it doesn't make you nervous. You just have to find what's comfortable and what works for you. So I hope you're keeping track of your own points. This little tracker is both in Vibe and then also on the details page on your Avon. So keep track of that. But I also recommend keeping track on your own worksheet because the points don't update until the following campaign closes out so that Avon knows who paid on time. So it's almost like a campaign behind, so you really have to keep up to date your own tracking so that you know where you are, even if the Avon's point system doesn't say that yet. So campaign 2, we have the opportunity for double points on a qualified recruit. Campaign 3, so that is right now. You got to get out there and get 1 online order. If you have an online order in your e-store during campaign 3, they will double your incentive sales points. So get an online order, get 5, get 10, and make sure that it ships 2 days prior to campaign close. So make it a challenge. How quickly can you guys get that online order? You just need the 1 and it's going to double your sales, your total points. When your sales are between $3 and $4.99, you'll get 200. If they're 500 or more, you'll get the 400. All right, Sharon at 4,000 points. That's awesome. And Tracy, that explains why, how, oh yes. So more reason to keep track yourself. And if you do have any questions about when points are gonna hit or why it's not reflecting what you think it should, call the leadership desk or ask me, and hopefully we can help you figure it out. That's for my downline. Not because I don't love all of you, but I can't see anyone's accounts that's not on my team. So if you're newer to recruiting, you can send anyone to sellavon.com. and they're going to either enter your reference code or search by name. I like these visual representations of the ambassador levels. It looks, I don't know why the leadership chart like just looks intimidating. I think it's because there's so many rows and columns and you got to do this and then there's stars and you got to look over here to see what that means. So keep it simple. Put this up on your desktop or hang it by your wall and keep it simple. focus on recruiting. I know that you have to hit these certain requirements in order to advance, but the truth is at the ambassador level, as long as you just continue recruiting and you onboard and train your people, the title advancements are going to come. Emily has to have limits to being an overachiever. No, I have a real problem. Okay. As a leader, we have ways that we can incentivize our team, keep up that excitement. There's buttons, there's maracas, there's sombrero necklaces. You can go to the Dollar Tree, the Dollar General. There's Mardi Gras stuff out right now. So that kind of fits this theme. And you can get Mardi Gras stuff to promote Rep Fest attendance too. So make it fun for your team, and then everybody will want to join in. Here is our listing of our top achievers. If you have your publicity set to no, you will not show up on the list. So congratulations. For the leaders out there, I use Pizzap to make these images. I really love doing it because my team is spread out so far around the United States that when I start friending them on Facebook and following their feed and, you know, recognizing them, I really feel like I already know them before I meet them. So definitely make up some recognition posts and try to include pictures of your team members in there. Everyone's Facebook profile picture is set to public. So if they have their publicity tag marked as yes for Avon, I would use one of their pictures from their Facebook profile. I wouldn't go into any of their other pictures that aren't set to public and use those anywhere. And of course, anyone on my team, I know that I share a lot of information and some people are uncomfortable with that. So you always have the option to mark no publicity. So as a leader, I am also encouraging that qualified order by bribing you with free Avon. I started doing this in campaign 25 and I love to be generous. So it's been a lot of fun being able to do these. And then I'm also encouraging the $400 orders to help people have an incentive throughout the year to hit President's Club. Yes, Pizzap. So Lisa Monison is the one who told me about that originally. It's super easy to use. It's free. I just love, I'm kind of a creative person. So stuff like this is like fun for me. And then I'm also doing an incentive for my team members if they advance in title. And I just realized, Melissa, I owe you another $100 because you advanced twice. But for my leaders, when you advance to a level for the first time by campaign 8, I am rewarding you. Bye, Sarah. Have a good night. Rewarding you with $100, and then I'm also doing gift card drawings for everyone that has an appointment. So I'm doing it daily. If you don't have a ton of team members or you don't have the money to do them daily, start doing them once a month or once a week. I've always kind of started small and built up, and now I can afford quite a bit more to incentivize my team. But it wasn't always that way. So don't say, oh gosh, well, Emily, you have all this money you can spend and I don't. I started out not having that and not being able to do as much. Okay. So Amy, you want to jump in here and give us some ideas of what you're doing to generate leads?
Most of my leads right now are coming from Alma, but I'm not relying completely on that. I am also talking to people. I make sure whenever I do talk to somebody, they know how excited I am about what I do and how much I love what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I make sure they feel that excitement that I have for what I'm doing.
Good. And Amy is really good about being positive all the time. She's always sharing something either personally or about her Avon business that she's excited about. So that's definitely one of her strong suits. What about, I know you were doing try it kits for a while. Have you?
I haven't had much luck with those here lately. I'm going to go into this later on with some of your other questions, but when I do my next email to my leads, I'm going to offer them the try it kits using the daily care flyer to try to get some more signed up.
Okay, so do you want to kind of explain what a try it kit is for someone who doesn't know?
Yeah, basically how I started out with them was I would send them a couple of brochures and some samples and an order book and give them the opportunity to try to collect orders. And when they collected so many orders, I don't have the numbers right in front of me because it's been a while, but when they collect so many in orders, their profit will pay for their starter kit to sign up. And then I usually had them shoot for the $150 order, because then they would have a choice of kits to sign up with, and that would be their qualifying order.
Awesome. That's great. And then if you work with them, just training them to sell that daily care collection, all they have to do is sell, I would probably say 10 just to be safe to get them over that 150. But that would give them a $200 order right there. They're going to earn 40% and they can use it to buy the kit and they have the qualified order. So it's a
Yes.
win-win for the leader as well as the new representative. I like to try and do things where it's in front of a group so that you can bring in more customers and bring in more team members at a time. So when we think about group selling or recruiting, we want to be at places where there's high traffic, a home party. A lot of people, myself included, like I know they kind of dread hosting the home party. So host it yourself and you know, have some refreshments. You don't have to have a lot of product there. Just make it fun. Do some games, have some brochures, some demo products. And that way your friend does not feel obligated to have a party for you. But you can definitely ask your friends. I think that differs. Me personally, I didn't like that way of selling, but some people are very successful with it. So don't just listen to my opinion. And you can do catalog parties. And that way you're introduced to new contacts. So someone hosts a catalog party for you. You could either do that in person or through a Facebook event. They invite their friends. All of a sudden you have contact information from those people as well. And that's really the benefit of doing a fundraiser is, of course, to give back to the organization. But the other big benefit, and this is why I don't really look at it as, oh, I'm trying to make a ton of money when I do a fundraiser. It's more about raising money for the organization and then having all of those new contacts that you could possibly have as long-term customers or team members. So we can always be wearing our logo items. Every piece of marketing material I like to put a label on to show them how to shop on my website and how to become a representative. I also get those 10% off stickers from Town and Country because people love sales. So I get those to promote ordering off my website. The online retail is not going to go away. So if you're uncomfortable with it, try to start building that customer base now. And you don't have to convert your current customer base. You can look for totally new people to market to. Okay. Amy, have you tried any mailers?
I have not tried those yet.
Okay. I just kind of started doing mailings, and I am finding really good results with it. I enjoy online recruiting, but there's so many emails and notifications and social media posts going through that your message can get lost. So sending someone something in the mail could be what it takes to get them to sign up. Hello, Patricia. I have found that the What's New brochure is a great way to recruit because you say, hey, look at this. You could have this sort of discount if you signed up as a rep. Business cards are super affordable to sprinkle around your town and as you travel. They're a lot more affordable than leaving brochures behind everywhere. So make sure you have information on how to sign up on your team, as well as how they can order on your website. And then we have the Beauty Boss flyer. So that works well too. I've actually tried black and white and color to see like what does better. So whenever you're doing like a marketing activity, oh my, Izzy, stop. Whenever you're doing a marketing activity, try to measure the results. Hi, Kim. Try to measure the results so that you know if it's worth it and you know what is the best way. Once you start doing multiple ways, you can compare where did I get the most sign up, where did I get the most recruits. Yeah, Izzy finally got a haircut today, so she looks like she's like 10 pounds lighter. The Beauty Boss flyer, hi Ava, is it's in Avon University under mentor tools. I think you have to go under leadership and then mentor tools, and then you'll find all those flyers for new reps in there. This you can buy a pack of 5 for $1. That's the product number right there. And then this is kind of handy too, because it's your business card, but then you get them to fill out their information for you. And that way you guys are exchanging information. Miss Kim.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm good.
Good. Congratulations. Kim just said that. You say it.
We're having a baby.
Yay!
Yes.
Awesome. When are you due?
In July, so July 12th. So
Oh, awesome.
plans have changed with my Avon course, but things are still moving along, and we're back on track after the first trimester. That was a little rough, but I'm glad I have my assistant that can keep my business moving forward while I'm laying on a couch.
Oh, there you go.
Trying to relax.
Yeah, the first 3 months, you don't feel very good.
Oh, no. So, thanks, everybody.
So why don't can you share with us a little bit about how you found an assistant and the types of activities that she helps you with?
Yeah. Let me pull up my list of things that she does. So as far as an assistant, I went from being a mom of one and having a husband who was around a lot and was able to help, to moving away from, and lots of family around. And then I went to having 2 kids and then moving 1,500 miles away from home. And my husband started school full time. So I mean, he was so busy that it was just like, I had to take over everything, every role at home. And it was becoming overwhelming with how I wanted to lead my business and be able to make sure I still focused on my girls and was able to take care of them and the house duties. So I decided that it would be a good investment for me to hire an assistant to help keep the business rolling when there was a lot going on, a lot of adjusting going on in my life. And so I actually, I hired my mom. She has a history in Avon, and so she kind of knows the business already, and she follows through, and she's a hard worker. So I knew that was going to be a good hire.
Awesome.
I don't know how long she's going to do it. I was like, 15 years. She's like, I don't know if I'm going to be around and, wanting to do this in 15 years. But so let me pull up the things that I have her doing. I have her doing things that have to be done on a regular basis. And so kind of like what you've done, Emily, where you take things that aren't the most exciting to work on and you let your assistants do those, so that way you can have the creative mind and work on things that are going to grow the business. I don't know where her list is. It's in here somewhere. But off the top of my head, I have her doing sending out packets for the welcome packets that when I have new team members coming. So she puts those together, mails them out, have her writing not welcome cards, but have her writing recognition cards. So she does those and keeps up on those, and doing welcome emails and a couple of other emails that I have her doing, and just some of the stuff that isn't the most fun but has to be done if or at least for me, that I want to be done in my business and want to keep on going on a regular basis. When my life gets a little crazy, I can rely on her and know that that's getting done.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so something that might help you decide what tasks you could delegate if you find someone to help you. Even if it's your kids, list out all the activities that you do, and then find out which ones are like actually income generating. So, putting a label on the book is not income generating, but creating a marketing email would be. So that's kind of how I delegated my tasks. I wanted to do sales and leadership, so I would spend half of my time doing sales, half of my time doing recruiting. And then as that built and I liked the recruiting more, I handed off more of my sales tasks to some of my employees. And then I was still doing some of the online marketing and the leadership stuff. Now I've turned everything off my plate except for leadership tasks and delegating some of the recruiting activities that we're doing. So as your business grows, you can afford more services and more help to really help you grow faster as you begin to get larger. So this is just an example of the different sorts of logo items that you can have. I really think by mixing in together some of the more traditional ways of recruiting, like a car decal, along with online recruiting, is where you're going to really get the best results, because people are going to react differently based on what they're most comfortable with. So these are some of the online ways that you can generate leads. So you can write blogs, and people are like, well, what do you talk about? Why would you have more than one blog post about the opportunity? Well, people are going to be searching for the opportunity in different ways. So you kind of come up with the keywords that you want to use, the question that you want to answer in the article, and you build your writing around that topic. So you can have almost the same exact information, but you're talking about it differently, and it's going to attract different people searching online. So then it's important, once you have blogs, that you're sharing those links and really getting those posts out there. And Kim, Tracy's asking if you could share what's in your welcome pack.
Yeah, so I saw that question. Thanks, Tracy. So I'm currently revamping it because I've kind of realized I want to try something different. But what I have had is I have it's basically identical to my welcome email. And my original thought on this was, well, it's just like a simple breakdown of getting started with your business. And I'm trying to think, like, it's got, you know, the daily care collection flyer and the Kickstart information and how to find your website and how to contact me if you have questions and how to get a hold of Avon if there's something that I'm not able to help you with. And making sure that, you know, there's a blurb on how to find all this information within the packet. And then, so that I did email, so it's identical to the email, and I did email, paper in the mail, and a text. So I want to make sure I'm reaching to people in all different ways, and then they will reach back to me in the way that works best to them if they need help and they know that I've reached out to them in those different ways.
Awesome.
But now that I'm revamping, I saw, Cheryl, I really liked what you did, and I think, Emily, you're doing the same with the laminating sheet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have my assistant, we're going to start laminating and sending out those little beefer kits.
Yeah. I bought a laminator. It was only like $30, and then
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I have some.
Yeah, they're not very expensive in the paper, and I think on Black Friday they're like $10. I mean, you know, obviously that was a few months ago, but yeah, they're not.
It's nice to laminate, like, for example, the leadership comparison chart, like something that you want to have at all times, like right by you. Let me see. What else do we laminate? The campaign calendar. I'll in the follow-up email, I'll list out what I include in my welcome kit. And Kim, maybe you can list it out too, and then we can put ours together.
Okay.
But I do only send it to first generation. So as your team keeps growing bigger, you may have to cut back on, in the beginning, maybe you want to do it for everyone, but then you want to teach your leaders to take that task over. Otherwise, it can become really costly.
Mm-hmm.
So then social media to share blogs, YouTube to create videos or sharing Avons. We have Avon Social, and including your reference code on all materials. Always say to buy or sell. Sometimes that's just like a little reminder, like, oh yeah, I did think about maybe being an Avon rep once. And then maybe they'll go look it up and sign up with you. Use the incentives as recruiting tools. So the Grand Fiesta, there's lots of images in Avon Social for you to use and say, you know, my company with my company, you can earn free trips for you and a guest to Los Cabos. Join my team. So use the incentives that Avon has going on as a way to get people in to sign up on your team.
Emily, can I share with you that one of the second texts that I send people?
Yeah.
When I'm recruiting. So I send an initial text message and an email, and then I follow up with a second text and an email. Let me just get it pulled up here. And it goes over, I'll just read a portion of it to you. I just like introduced myself and was just like, oh, hey, how's it going? Hope your weekend's going well, or if it's the week, whatever. And this is Kim from Avon. And then a little blurb of some information, just kind of like, did you hear about the new incentive? Then I also say, can I share with you 3 weeks reasons why I joined Avon? So it's being real with people and just pointing out 3 simple reasons. And then it goes into like the incentives that you can earn, and the support groups, and why Avon is such a successful business and why it's been around for over 135. Are we at 135 yet? No, it's been over 130. So yeah, so in the text message and emails, I'm definitely using those incentives to get people excited about the business, and it's not just about making money, but you can earn these awesome trips too, and they're very achievable.
Yes. I know people are, Emily, you're always gone. Yes, I love it. We're not like always gone. It's every few months, but it's just a perfect amount of time to be home and then take off again. And on your personal Facebook profile, Amy does a good job of just talking about how excited she is, and here's what's going on. So when you're talking about your own business and saying how much you love it and what's so great about it, that's when people start asking you, instead of you trying to convince someone that they should sell Avon. So I've always liked the ways of attracting people, because I think it's going to bring in your most successful people. If you're trying to talk someone into it, they're already hesitant to join for one reason or another, so they may not be as successful as someone who's seeking the opportunity. And then Kim, I know you've had luck recruiting on Instagram, haven't you?
Yeah. That I feel like I can be a little bit more personal. I feel like there's less ads. I know it's getting kind of full of ads, but I don't know. I really like Instagram. And so if you guys look up my Instagram, it's Beauty with Kim K. I always, in your profile, you want to make sure you have your information there and make sure that your active link is your Avon store or the blog that you're promoting. And then I always tell stories. I don't like to post ads as much because, and if I do, then a couple of days later I'll delete them, because you want to attract people to follow you. And then if they're seeing that you're just posting ads all the time, they're not going to love that. And so, because Instagram is more of a personal way to attract people. And so I like to post pictures of, me with Aspira, just, simple things. And then of just how I'm using the business in my life. And then I was actually talking with my team last night on our team meeting about this, and now it's like not loading the part that I want it to load. I don't know why, if I'm using too much internet through my computer. But I really like the idea of telling stories and then leading into why, a story that will show why or explain what the picture is kind of about. And then if it's a picture of me and my kids, or if it's a picture with me and Aspira, leading into why I love the business and what the perks are to the business. So it starts with a catchy explanation of the picture and me using some of the products, or just me being able to spend time with my kids, and then leading into a recruiting post. And then at the end you put, your call to action, whether it's comment if you're interested, message me, and I have my phone number on there. And you can even give them a call to action to say, text, I want to join, or I want more info. And I always like to put little things like ask for more info, no pressure, no pressure info, so they don't feel like I'm just going to start blasting them with all the recruiting info.
Some direct salespeople like attack.
Oh yeah, I get messages all the time from some companies that are like, hey.
Right? And it's totally like the same form letter that they send to everyone.
Yeah.
All right, so Amy, how do you follow up with your leads?
I attempt to do phone calls and texts, but it seems like the only responses I get from those are the angry people. But I don't know.
Oh no.
It's kind of trying on my patience some days. But I always make sure that I follow up with an email. And I got to thinking one day, it seemed like I was using the same email over and over again. And I thought, I would get really bored doing that if I was reading the same email. So each month before I get ready to do follow-ups, I will sit down and write out a new email. And it's like I was telling Kim, my one that I used for this month, I kind of told a little bit about, the benefits of joining with Avon. And then I told my story and how Avon has helped me in my personal life and what it's done for me, and hoping that that will help to get some more to let them see. Because, this is a business I run without a car. I stay at home. I don't get out and do a whole lot, and just showing them it's possible no matter what you think is an obstacle, you can overcome it with this business.
Preach on. Okay, so we kind of talked about our welcome packets. Amy, you have like a whole binder you create for people, right?
I do for my leaders. I still have to get some of them mailed out, but I do for my leaders. But for all of my new team members, as soon as they sign up, of course, I was using the email that Kim had sent me for a while, but then I got bored with that and totally revamped it and made my own email. I send it out right away, and attached to that, I have the daily care flyer, the Kickstart information, explain all of that to them. And then I set every campaign to my Kickstart team members, all generations. I will send out a email at the beginning of the campaign and towards the end of the campaign and let them know what their goals are. So that way it can help keep them on track and be like, okay, you've got this much in orders in, this is what your goal is. You need just that little bit of push. And I've helped a couple of team members that way. They have thanked me because they thought they had hit their goal already.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, so it's good to teach your team members how to track themselves, but also kind of watch to be sure that they're doing it, or they're looking at it accurately, or not thinking they're somewhere when they're not.
Yes, and I'm also sending emails to all of my leaders and letting them know exactly what their team members need to do that campaign, so they can see what I'm doing also.
Good. So any tips for advancing in title?
This one, I got thinking, I'm like, okay, because that's my next step is I need to build leaders. So I started to do, and Amy knows, she's been very attentive to this. We've been doing leadership calls. So I know you do, Emily, and I wanted to start doing them with my team to start making some plans. And we start, oh, you know what, let me pull my paper out. And I don't know if you guys have this, but it's like the best thing. When I did my, I did it with my, what are they called? The area coach. I forget. What?
Your coach?
Yeah. Okay.
Leadership development.
Yeah, yes, thank you. She gave me this, and maybe you guys have seen it before, but it's the Path to Bronze Leader. So we're doing this. I do it once a month, and we're going to be doing them on the phone call as well. So I'm aware of where they're at, they're aware of where they're at, and what they need to do to move their business forward in the next month. And so you put in all the numbers, and at the end it says, this is the total new team members based on your averages that you need to have to be able to advance in title. And so I felt like for myself, this was such a good sheet so I could kind of be aware of, okay, so I need, 8 new team members this campaign to be able to move forward and be able to advance in title in May or whatever my month, is. And so I felt like that was going to be such a good tool that I could use to my team that I introduced to them this last leadership call. So we're doing that now.
Oops, Joyce is asking if where that's at. Do you know if that's on?
You know what? I don't, because she just gave it to me and I made copies for myself. So, I mean, I can scan it and
Okay.
put it in the team
Yeah,
files.
if you can send it to me, I can include it in the follow-up email.
Yeah. And it's just basic math is what you're doing, and it's very self-explanatory. So
I know when I'm looking for potential new leaders, I look for my strong sellers because they're already close. A lot of them are already close to bronze ambassador with their own sales. So I really try to not talk them into leadership, but let them have an open mind. Some of your strong sellers don't think that they would be good at recruiting, but they are, because they can teach how to sell really well. So look at your orders report and sort it by highest to lowest, and start talking and having conversations with your top sellers. Another thing is sometimes it's harder to change a routine than it is to start right from the beginning to do it the way we would like it to be done. So introducing how to recruit right in the beginning and ensuring them that you're there too, so they don't have to have the answers when a new person comes on. So that's what I found. But there is a transition. It's like for a while there, you're just recruiting, and then it's like, oh shoot, I'm stuck until I have leaders.
Yep, that's where I'm at.
I'm trying, Kim. I'm trying.
Oh, I know, girl. I know.
Lots of recognition and reminders about that advancement bonus, because I think people forget about that. What about tracking your points? Are you guys using that tracking worksheet? Anyone?
Don't ask me about that one.
Okay.
I just got my first points when this campaign closed out. So, but I do have a spreadsheet set up on my computer where I track for my entire team as they get points.
Okay, cool.
I'm kind of a numbers nerd, so, you know.
Yes, you know
I love it. I love it. Get me on track, Amy.
So yeah, I will also include that worksheet. So I would recommend printing it out and listing your points as you go. I would recruit as hard as possible right now because of those ongoing 100 points you can get every campaign for their qualified orders. So I'll show you here. If you click on that Your Avon logo anywhere on there, and you scroll all the way down to the bottom, that's where you're gonna see sales incentives. Here's all the fine print about the incentive. And you get details either in Vibe or on here is where you can see your tracker. All right. Any questions? Anyone?
Watching the chat box. Oh, here's some come in.
Only first generation in their first or second campaign. Yes. So your qualified new recruit has to be directly under you for you to get points. All right, Susan's gonna see us in Cabo.
Yay! You guys have fun.
All right. Yeah.
You realize that me being pregnant, like I can't go to Mexico while being pregnant. Like travel advisories, and I'm like, I already had like my mom, like I'm like, hey, we're gonna book a flight. This is months ago, and she had it on her calendar to come down and watch my babies, and
life throws you curveballs sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. But we couldn't be more excited, and I'll take a new baby over a Mexico trip.
Yeah. Avon will be here forever.
Right.
All right. I got points for a Q&R, and I don't know who it is, and I need someone to look at my stuff. Okay. We will help you, Miss Becky. So some of the reports that I like to look at as a leader is, for this incentive particularly, would be Grand Fiesta. I like Excel because I can sort it by points. I don't want to show anyone's information, so I'm not going to go into it, but make sure you click through the tabs because that's where you'll find information about your team. The daily contracts report is really nice because you can see in the past 12 weeks who are your strongest recruiters, who has gotten more of them to place their first order. There's some really helpful information in there. That's also where I go to figure out who goes in the drawing for the gift cards. I always am checking new pending appointments. And leads program. If you are a more advanced leader and you have a lot of leaders, you can sort by to see how they're doing as far as conversion rates. So you guys can also add this to see how you're doing on converting leads. It's one of the panels. So if you come over here and edit panels, how do you get the pendings to active? You bribe them with free Avon products. No, I'm totally. That is why I do the $150 gift, but no, just teaching them, just being there for them. I like them to focus on the daily care collection instead of being overwhelmed by the whole book. Teaching them how to do it online as well so that they're trying different ways. Setting up an opening, a grand opening party, a grand opening email. Just really working with them in the beginning to meet those Kickstart goals so that they're making money and they're excited.
And Emily, on that one thing that I'm trying, campaign 4 will tell me how well it worked. I have taken a couple of my pendings that are going to drop off because they've been almost a year, and I sent them brochures through campaign mailer and emailed them, let them know why they were getting the brochure, sent the daily care flyer again, and it was a campaign 4 brochure, so fingers crossed. I sent out 4 of them. I'm going to see how that goes.
All right. Cheryl and I are also doing that. Working through our removals and our pendings, like just really trying to get out there and reach them and help them to get started again or to even get started in the first place. So working your removals and your pendings and X reps is always a good thing to do as well. Okay, so Tracy has emailed 47 leads with only 2 responses, text 14, but only 2 answered. Calling is hard. I mailed out 10 of the recruiting books. What else do you recommend? Do you have like signs on your car? Cheryl puts the little command hook on her car and hangs brochures in the clear literature bags, and people take them that way. I would focus on getting more leads then if I were you. So I would maybe do some events or make sure you're living in business cards all around town. Maybe go into nail salons, hair salons, see if you can leave Avon brochures. Think of places where you can reach a lot of people. When you have gone through your entire list, you need to start adding more people to your list.
Get some new blood in there.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining. Let's see. Brittany has a question here. Have you tried book parties and adding a recruiting incentive with that? Amy or Kim, have you?
Book parties and recruiting incentive. I've held parties, yes. Recruiting incentive, I'm trying to think.
Maybe like if you sign up as a rep, you'd get a free product or.
You know, I think I've just played off of like Avon's incentives that they've had versus me handing out, you know, stuff. Because when I was doing like the book parties, it was earlier on where I didn't have as much of a budget to be doing stuff like that.
Yeah. And
yeah.
We at one point, like years ago, with the district manager, we were giving away a free watch, and I think a lot of people just do that just for the free gift, and then they don't do anything. So you do have to be careful, like with when and where you're being generous, because they may just sign up just to get the gift and then never do anything.
You know, Brittany, I wonder if you're referring to that recent picture that was posted in one of the groups. Did you guys see that? I don't know if it was in the WhatsApp group, but there was a gal who put a post out there that was a huge recruiting incentive, like $25 if you place an order of 150 or more. So I wonder if Brittany, you're referring to something like that, because that would take a larger budget to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I haven't done one like that though. Okay, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up. I have to pack.
Yay, come down to the warmth. It's beautiful down here.
Is it?
So nice.
All
It's
right.
so nice. Yeah.
Am I gonna be good with like long sleeve dress with open toed shoes?
Long sleeve dress. If you're in the sun, no. Like you'll want short sleeve. But in the evening, long sleeve dress probably would be fine.
Okay. I thought it's like, I thought it said like 60s. It's hot.
In San Antonio. It's
Yeah.
a little, I mean, it's probably gonna be a little bit different than here in Houston. That's but then if you're in the sun,
then you can come to the leadership conference next year.
I know.
That'll be our trip.
Yeah.
Kim, you rubbed into warm weather last night, okay? Up here in Ohio, we still have snow. This isn't fair.
We're running around in short sleeves. It's nice. And capris.
Well, thank you, Amy and Kim, for co-hosting with me. It's so much more fun when I'm not talking by myself. Everyone else, feel free to follow my San Antonio adventure on my personal Facebook page, and get out there and get excited and recruit. Do it. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Emily.
Bye.
Bye.